Okay. Hello, you guys. I should be live now. Everything should be good. Let me know in the chat if everything is set. I'll do a mic check. Should be, yeah, there we go. All good. Okay. We are getting right on into things. We're getting right on into things here. Believe it's, yep. Move myself over here so we can, actually I'll just, instead of moving myself around like that, I'll move the charts around like this. We'll go ahead and look down the watch list here. Let's check out Bitcoin. Bitcoin is down on the day, not looking so hot. Not looking so hot. And man, this research thread, it's got, I'm just going down my X timeline and I am posting everything. I'm going down my YouTube subscriptions. I have a separate YouTube channel that just has all my geopolitical subscription and it's just posting every single bit of historical information I can find, because man, when stuff like this happens, you can, the last time I've been flooded with this amount of information where literally if you watch a 5-minute video, something new can come down the recommendation feed that you will end up missing. In these types of situations, it's just insane how fast the commentary comes through, how fast the news comes through, and how much variety of news that there is. Frankly, I haven't been this overwhelmed since the Charlie Kirk assassination, the martyrdom of Charlie Kirk, as far as the sheer volume of stuff that was going down on the feed. This is just insane amount of stuff behind me. Okay. So Bitcoin's down on the day. I said, hey, this is great, but you know, don't bet the house, right? There's still more macro, higher time frame related things that we need to take into account when it comes down to Bitcoin expectations. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on over to currencies. Oh man, that's quite a wide bit ask. So we're just waiting for the markets to actually turn on here, because none of these markets are moving at the moment. Yeah, nothing's moved quite yet. Nothing's opened yet. And we're still 5 minutes into the open. Let's go ahead and maybe check another one. Euro dollar on a different exchange, maybe FXCM. Nope. Nothing's open yet, so we don't know what the damage looks like, but we will know very, very shortly, and we'll be able to see it. Oh, did you see that? Everything went red. Oh my god. Look at that all the way down here. Oh my god. 50 pips lower on the euro, 70 pips lower on the Aussie, 45 pips lower on New Zealand, close to 80 pips lower on the pound. Wow, holy smokes. The Canadian didn't move that much, and yen didn't move that much. However, a lot of these yen pairs are moving like 100 pips. There's Aussie yen, there's pound yen, New Zealand yen moved about 60 pips on New Zealand yen, Euro yen moved 65 pips. Holy man. Dollar yuan has moved 236 pips. Oh my god, look at that. It's just a little island up there. Holy smokes. That's kind of insane, these gaps, especially the China yuan gap. Oh my man. Yeah, DXY, the index hasn't updated yet, and these spreads are like 10 pips right now. Yeah, well, on Oanda, they're about. Oh, yeah, the spreads are kind of going all over the place right now. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like, hey, if you're trying to get in and trade this, it's going to be pretty hard, especially as a retail discretionary trader, pressing the buttons on your chart. This is where the robots kind of fight. This is where the robots fight right now when the spreads are this big here. So, what do we do? I mean, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm here to look at charts. I'm here to be, frankly, I'm here to kind of be entertained by the gap. I wanted to see how big these gaps were, and I wanted to know which assets had the biggest ones. I wasn't expecting Aussie dollar to have the largest, and pound to have the largest gaps on the dollar pairs here. I wasn't expecting that. I also wasn't expecting dollar CAD to move only 12 pips. That's like, out of all of them, the Canadian dollar is really held up. How about MXN? Let's see here. USD MXN. Oh my god, the peso. The Mexican peso has moved 1,260 pips. Oh no. Oh no. That is terrible. That is, oh my god, the Mexican peso is moved close to 0.75%. 73 basis points. Oh my god. That is actually insane. The peso. Okay, so the peso and yuan got hit the hardest here. That is... hey, blue screen. Stop freaking out. Hey, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Oh, man. Yeah, fun day. Fun day. Man, you know, I wish there was more places I could share the stream link. It'd be definitely a lot more fun having more people in the stream, that's for sure. I just shared it in the stream announcements. Where else could I share the link? I don't want to go into like other people's Discord servers and share links without their permission. That's a very scummy thing to do, right? You can always post it on X, but as you know, when you're starting a brand new account on X, it's like, okay, who wants to actually press on that? So, in the meantime, oh, also I can do this. I can hide that little top bar. Been loving the Omarchi updates recently. Thank you, DHH. Let's see here, x.com. Oh, uh-oh. We got an update from President Donald Trump. Okay, you guys.
The United States and its partners have launched Operation Epic Fury, one of the largest, most complex, most overwhelming military offensives the world has ever seen. Nobody's seen anything like it. We have hit hundreds of targets in Iran, including Revolutionary Guard facilities, Iranian air defense systems. Just now it was announced that we knocked out 9 ships plus their naval building, all in a matter of literally minutes. Iran's formerly supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, is dead. This wretched and vile man had the blood of hundreds and even thousands of Americans on his hands and was responsible for the slaughter of countless thousands of innocent people all across many countries. Last night, all over Iran, the voices of the Iranian people could be heard cheering and celebrating in the streets when his death was announced. The entire military command is gone as well, and many of them want to surrender into saving their lives. They want immunity. They're calling by the thousands. Combat operations continue at this time in full force, and they will continue until all of our objectives are achieved. We have very strong objectives. They could have done something 2 weeks ago, but they just couldn't get there. Earlier today, CENTCOM shared the news that 3 U.S. military service members have been killed in action. As one nation, we grieve for the true American patriots who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation, even as we continue the righteous mission for which they gave their lives. We pray for the full recovery of the wounded and send our immense love and eternal gratitude to the families of the fallen. And sadly, there will likely be more. Before it ends, that's the way it is. Likely be more, but we'll do everything possible where that won't be the case. But America will avenge their deaths and deliver the most punishing blow to the terrorists who have waged war against basically civilization. They have waged war against civilization itself. Our resolve, and likewise that of Israel, has never been stronger. America is now again the richest, most powerful nation in the world by far. But the only reason we enjoy the quality of life that we do and the freedom and security is we have done things that others are unable to do. But it's because of warriors who are willing to lay down their lives to do battle with our enemies. And they do battle better than anybody. An Iranian regime armed with long-range missiles and nuclear weapons would be a dire threat to every American. We cannot allow a nation that raises terrorist armies to possess such weapons that would allow them to extort the world to their evil will. Not going to let it happen. We're not happening to us, and we're not going to let it happen to others. The United States has the strongest military the world has ever seen. I rebuilt our military in my first term. There's never been a military like we possess. And frankly, there's nobody even close, but we are now using that military for good. We want to have it for good purpose. We're undertaking this massive operation not merely to ensure security for our own time and place, but for our children and their children, just as our ancestors have done for us many, many years ago. This is the duty and the burden of a free people. These actions are right and they are necessary to ensure that Americans will never have to face a radical, bloodthirsty terrorist regime armed with nuclear weapons and lots of threats. For almost 50 years, these wicked extremists have been attacking the United States while chanting the slogan, "Death to America," or "Death to Israel," or both. They are the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. We are the world's greatest and most powerful nation, so we can do something about what they do. These intolerable threats will not continue any longer. I once again urge the Revolutionary Guard, the Iranian military, police, to lay down your arms and receive full immunity or face certain death. It will be certain death. Won't be pretty. I call upon all Iranian patriots who yearn for freedom to seize this moment, to be brave, be bold, be heroic, and take back your country. America is with you. I made a promise to you, and I fulfilled that promise. The rest will be up to you, but we'll be there to help. Thank you. God bless you to our incredible warriors, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Wow. Operation Epic Fury. Oh, we got some alerts. Literally just as that finished, we got some alerts on the Eurodollar. Well, let's go ahead, full screen this, and see oh man. Holy mama. All right, you're breaking some of these swing lows. You're probably going to end up breaking that one. You know what's interesting? So I have an indicator called Wayne's Pivots. So Wayne's Pivots Pro is a very, very popular indicator that I make. So many people use it. And it doesn't necessarily react to gaps unless you use a high enough time frame where the gap is still within the pivot ranges. What I like to do is I use an augmented version of Wayne's Pivots Pro called Probability Pivot Points that includes these statistics of seasonal lows and seasonal highs relative to pivot points for the month. Now, what information do we see here? What I did in those, let me move myself over here. What I did in the indicators settings, I changed the data loaded into the indicator that displays the probabilities to use low data. So it tells us the probability of finding the low between any two pivot points here for the monthly pivots and for the month of March, going all the way back to the beginning of the chart's history. So this is saying 26.9.09% of lows for the month of March occur between S0.5 and S1, with the probability weighted pivot actually within those two pivots. And the probability weighted pivot's currently sitting at 117.46, which just so happens to be right at where the swing low is. Now, there is a lot of people who like to trade ICT or price action, and they would say, without looking at this indicator, oh, we're going to sweep this low here. That's what they'd say. That would essentially be their analysis. If they were bullish the euro dollar, they'd say, okay, I'm expecting price to go under this low and then bounce back up and then continue higher. That's what they would call a sweep of the low. I don't need to make an assumption that a sweep will happen. I can just look at the data and say, okay, the odds are that a sweep will happen. But in reality, it's just the likelihood of the low for the month coming in somewhere around here. And if we expand the range a bit, the analysis a little bit, between S0.5 right here at 117.796 and S1.5, 116.862. So in this, call it roughly 100 pip range, it's 91 pips. And then we add these 2 percentage points is the analysis I want to do, is what's the probability of finding the low between those two pivots. We just add these two numbers here, and that gives you 26 plus 21 is 47. So 47 plus some decimals, you know, you can round it up to 48 if you round up the decimals. 48% of the time, the low for the month of March seasonally comes in between S0.5 and S1.5. Now, I said in a prior stream, and I still hold to this, by the way, during major geopolitical events where fundamentals and technicals and literally nothing on the chart matters. What matters is the wire. What comes down the squawk. That determines what's going on. Because prices are supposed to represent real things in the world. They're supposed to. They don't always. They get manipulated quite frequently. And depending on what market, the entire thing could just be pure manipulation, right? I mean, just look at the news recently that happened with Jane Street and India. That was a lot of money that they were able to get out of manipulating the derivatives market over there. There's actually a couple of videos that I shared in the Discord of someone who actually covered that whole fiasco in detail and showed, hey, this is what Jane Street actually did to manipulate the prices. I could explain it, but I'd like to focus on this. You give me 1 second here. So I'm looking at this saying, okay, it's about 50-50, roughly. You can probably excuse me, but about 50% of the time, the low for the month comes between these two pivots in this 90 pip range. with the probability weighted pivot right around here. So I'd, with the higher odds here and the probability pivot here, I'd assume you maybe have a tad of a sweep. Maybe you just get close to this low, don't actually even sweep it, and then you go higher. So this is looking at things for the month. Okay, cool. What are the risks? Well, the risks are you go way down here, right? You cross this S1.5, you are crossing what I call a probability gap, where you have these zeros, and then you see more odds. Essentially, on the cross of this probability gap, on the cross of this S1.5, there's actually an option to go short here, anticipating price to reach the higher probability spots here after crossing the gap. Now, that's a different strategy. That's not my net expectation. I actually do expect the dollar to continue to weaken, but definitely not right now. My initial expectation in the last stream actually was to see dollar, after discussing everything, it's like, hey, news can come down the wire at any point with stuff going on in Iran and make the US dollar stronger. There could be ports still blown up by people who are aligned with the Ayatollah at the Iranian ports in the Persian Gulf. So there's still things that can go wrong. There are a few ships that are getting hit, and the reason why I'm bringing up the Strait of Hormuz and the Persian Gulf right now is because that's one of the major linchpins in determining how impactful new information is likely going to be on these markets. Now, one really useful piece of information that I got was the attack from Israel and the United States, the Operation Epic Fury. While it was originally announced or reported that it was going to go on for about a week, Trump then came out and said, we're going to be there for several weeks. So they're, just so you know, the United States, he can be there for pretty much as long as he needs to till things really stabilize. I'm genuinely concerned, though, about things getting a lot more guerrilla warfare-y. And the reason being is when you look at this. I'm so happy about these research threads here. All right, let me go ahead and put X over here. Man, isn't that so cool? All this fancy stuff I can do with my computer now. Man. Okay. Right here. This is Ayatollah Khamenei in a box. He's in a box. There's the box. There he is. And now this could be AI. For all I know, this very well could be an AI video. But I wouldn't be surprised if this was not. I wouldn't be surprised. Also, this is a pretty, don't get me wrong, it's not a huge account, but it's also not a nothing account. And then these are definitely AI. Oh my god. I should not have scrolled down. Okay. It's just no. No. Oh man. I should have used X on more of my streams more often, man. Oh, and this is Keir Starmer giving an update on the Middle East. We're not what Keir Starmer has to say about it. We arguably should listen to Macron more than Keir Starmer right now, because Macron actually has things getting blown up, French assets getting blown up and attacked. Here actually is the video.
Wow, another one. Wow, shit. Wow. Wow, another one. Wow, shit. Wow. Oh my god. Wow. Wow, shit. Oh my god.
Iranian suicide drone hits French naval base in Abu Dhabi. And then here's Macron. He's speaking in French. There's no translated dub over it. I keep scrolling down. I keep scrolling down on X, and I keep regretting it. Oh man. Oh man. Come on. Hey, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. French President Macron on Iran in the United Arab Emirates, a hangar that are base adjacent to the Emirati base, was hit in a drone attack that targeted the port of Abu Dhabi. I'm sorry, this is the stereotype of the French. Yeah, the damage is purely material and limited. There are no injuries to report. Oh man, I am getting in so much trouble. Oh yeah, and then this is actually quite interesting. This is also fairly breaking news.
White House official who tells Fox News President Trump said new potential leadership in Iran has indicated they want to talk, and eventually he will talk. For now, Operation Epic Fury continues unabated.
Yeah. Yeah, there's and they're hacking Iranian TV right now, and also, you know, don't get me wrong, price and stuff is still moving. Don't worry, things are still going. Nothing's changed a whole lot. We just had massive multi-hundred pip gaps in a few assets, but most of the dollar-denominated G7 assets have not moved crazy. A lot of the yen assets actually are improving. These ones actually moved close to 100 pips, but look at that. Look at that. Yeah, they're actually getting better here. Look at that. Yeah. And this is what the indicators say, like 38% of the time, the low for the month on Aussie yen comes in between central pivot and S0.5. Oh my God. That's pretty high percentage. Oh man. Yeah, I would not be surprised to see a bit more weaker yen. I really wouldn't, especially with Takayishi's policies currently. We'll have to wait and see. There actually was some information about the new. If I can find it here. Oh yeah, right here. Japan picks reflationist for BOJ board. Asada, Professor Emeritus. I mean, guys, just go to the Central Bank's research channel and read this thing. I don't want to read it here on the stream. Just go to the damn Discord. Look, you go to the WAP link in the description, and there's, hey, click on the free Discord, and you click on the Discord, and this is the Discord that refers to. It's the Boss Trading WAP. You go in there, get in the Discord. It's all there. Don't worry, just get in the Discord, read the damn thing on your own time. We're going to watch markets flip the hell out as we look at some of the latest developments of what's going on with Iran. Yeah, there's some Asmongold stuff there. Apparently, there's been another hit. Some boxing gym apparently was either vandalized. They claim, I don't see any bullets, but they say that.
یه سری تروریست حمله کردن به باشگاه ما و شروع کردن به تیراندازی 17 تا تیر جنگی زدن.
So this is an Iranian-owned boxing gym, and I don't see any bullet holes or anything, but it does look like, if you actually look at the glass here. Where is it? It does look like there was a shot because that looks like a tiny little pinpoint hole. That definitely could be a bullet impact. You'd expect if someone was like taking a bat or a crowbar or a sledgehammer or something, it wouldn't leave it wouldn't leave that specific kind of damage. Unless, I don't know, they were like poking the glass, right? Silver a good buy on the market open, Joe? Jesus, man. Yeah, well, actually, we should probably check out gold. GC. Don't get me wrong. All the metals are pretty much gonna do fine, especially the precious metals. They're probably gonna do just fine. I did have an initial concern because I'm going through editing all the prior streams right now and making this big fat around montage, right? Like going over the very first stream before the attack happened on the Friday stream that's here every week. And then on the night of the invasion, I went live like within an hour of the invasion of Operation Epic Fury started. Then I did, I'm doing this stream now. And then I did another stream. Man, I've been doing back-to-back streams when it matters. Essentially, I had one concern with precious metals, and that was with the dollar. Depending on how strong the dollar got on these gap opens. So we can now see, okay, it's actually not really the end of the world here, especially with US dollar pairs. With that new information in mind now, I can update my prior expectations by saying I don't at least think that it's terribly likely to see if there is any kind of move lower from a stronger dollar, because remember, gold and silver are denominated in US dollars, so when the US dollar gets stronger, that doesn't necessarily mean that all risk off is equivalent, right? Not all risk off means you go into gold or you go into silver. There's a lot of people who automatically do that, but in many situations, dollar also is sometimes the more viable option, depending on your asset, depending on the portfolio. So let's not get into the nitty gritty. The final like pinpoint answer here is there might be a small dip, maybe, based on these things. But if there is, it's probably not going to be a huge deal. There's so much positive expectancy, so much positive consensus for gold, and it's not just central banks accumulating gold. All of this mass production of hardware to fulfill the AI demand, a lot of those components require gold. So all these manufacturing companies are having to acquire gold at these higher prices. It's not just the central banks that have to acquire gold. There's a lot of industrial purposes for gold and silver. Oh my God. I saw a post the other day on I think about how much money it costs. Oh man, every single Tomahawk missile that the United States sends over has some like ridiculous number of ounces of gold in it. Oh my God, hold on a second. How many ounces of silver are in a Tomahawk cruise missile? Oh my God, there's about 15 kilograms. 15 ounces. As much, from as little as 15 ounces to as much as 500 ounces. Oh my God. Okay. SL. Where's the silver futures? Oh man, I forget the ticker. Silver futures. SI. Yeah, there we go. Oh my God. Oh man, it's recovering back to 100 here. It's recovering back to 100 here. Oh yeah, and then we did this trade here, which was going along the tail risk right here on this bump. Yeah, on this bump up. I mean, we can go into replay mode and look at the ranges for that, but fat red candle. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you that probably hurt a lot of people. A lot of people. Anyways, hey, check it out. We hit the probability weighted pivot low on the indicator again. Oh man, it's almost like this indicator knows what it's describing. It's almost like it kind of knows what it's doing, guys. I don't know. But okay, 500 ounces. Okay. Oh, sweet. It shows up equals 94.91 times 500. It's $47,000 with the silver. And we just so you know, the compound that Khomeini was in, that was blown up. It was blown up with 30 bombs. Now I don't know if they were Tomahawk missiles, but the United States has probably sent several hundred missiles over to destroy Iranian facilities, and the bombings will continue until morale improves. The beatings will continue. I do actually have something extra to say about that. And now that we're on the topic, I am actually genuinely concerned, and I made a post about it here on X. What are the odds about Iran ending up in a civil war? What are the odds that Iran ends up in a civil war here? Because I mean, don't get me wrong, I love seeing Khomeini in a box. Let's just pull that one up again, because there was that one reply that just made me go silly. So yeah, there's Khomeini in a box. All of these people hate what's going on. They hate all these people celebrating his death in the streets. And then look at these people here. All these people here in this image. All these people are grieving. All these people are mad as hell. Now these are just kids, right? But that hasn't stopped the Iranians before. that hasn't stopped the Iranians before. Just because they're kids. Also, there was that missile. The Iranians launched a missile, and they had to. It was actually confirmed. I wasn't gonna bring this up, but I actually got a bit of confirmation, and it's here somewhere in the sea of all these hundreds and hundreds of posts in the research thread. But there was a missile that they launched that went up and straight down into a girls' school, and it killed like 200 or 140 little girls. And they had to say on Telegram and confirm, yeah, that what was our missile. So there are now these isolated independent groups that are Khomeini aligned, that are Islamic Republic aligned, kind of going off and doing their own things and really fucking up bad. There actually is a post here that I can fish for about one of the leaders or representatives. I believe it's from, no, not India. There's a representative of the Islamic Republic. Man, look at all these posts. Man, look at all these posts. Essentially saying that the Islamic Republic, now that everyone's been effectively decapitated, yeah, right here. What happened in Oman, with the attacks that happened in Oman, was not the choice of the Islamic Republic or some of the officials still remaining within the Islamic Republic. We have already told our armed forces to be careful about the targets they choose. Get this. He says our military units are now, in fact, independent and somewhat isolated. And they are acting based on general instructions given to them in advance. So they were all these attacks on all these other countries were pre-written instructions. Hey, if the Ayatollah is dead, just shoot everybody. So those were, from this guy's mouth, pre-written instructions, apparently, to do that. Now, if those weren't in the pre-written instructions, then it means that all these groups are acting independently, and they're all rogue. They're all rogue groups now that are part of the Islamic Republic's military. There's, what's the hierarchy here? Who's in charge? Who's making the decisions? And with the internet out, how's communication working, right? So if everyone's isolated and these groups are just saying shoot everybody, let's just say this. I'll be very happy to see, hopefully in 2 weeks, after the mass carpet bombing of the Islamic Republic, to see the Iranians come in and very likely the Shah Aziz is going to come in, the prince is going to come in, very likely, not run a temporary government. That seems to be the expectation, is that he's going to come in, set up a temporary government, and run elections. And whether or not he gets elected or not, I'm pretty sure will be fine. But the French, the UK, the Germans, and the United States and Israel are going to be in on making sure that those elections are run fairly and are militarily secure, because Lord knows, with all these people who want to kill those who are who have been against the Ayatollah, who've been celebrating
over the past
his
36
death.
hours.
Sorry, Trump. We already listened to him. There. Again, I'm concerned about a civil war situation. Like, that's my thing. I mean, look at all these people. Iran's media published footage of a march demanding revenge for execution of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Notice the difference. In the celebrations, there are women, young people, children, families. In this march, it's only men. Paradoxically, the progressives support these. So it doesn't actually look like that many people relative. Now that I watched the whole video, this crowd is not that huge compared to what I've seen before. What would really help is if people from the Iranian diaspora came back after there was after some kind of basic security state has been set up. If the diaspora came back to Iran, at least the people who really, really wanted to, and reintegrated back into Iran, and helped kind of set some standards for, like, hey, everybody, this is generally how the free world operates, right? As setting good examples and role models for what being a republic or a democracy actually means and represents. Because a lot of these people who are from the Iranian diaspora really love Iran. They'd love to go back and they'd love to help rebuild the country. There are some smart people in AI and math and science who are Iranian, who would love to essentially live the rest of their life in Iran, because that's where they still have family. It's where they grew up. They still have very, very, very fond preference for Iran. Now, some people from the diaspora are definitely going to stay. They've totally integrated into their respective countries, but they still have that, feeling of, I really want Iran to do well. That's where I came from, right? It's where your heritage is. Man, it will be great to see how things develop, but this needs to be watched. The odds of a civil war need to be watched. Now, with the United States going into Iran and doing all this stuff. And I can turn the music back on, right? I can turn on the music, right? Everything's cool. We got the chill 12 hours of copyright-free music ready to go. All right, sweet. And I don't need that in a group. No. Oh, by the way, there's actually a new feature in March. I think it was here. Check this out. If I actually ungroup this, look at that. Sliding windows. And I can open a terminal here. Isn't that kind of cool? Man, I'm so happy about this stuff. It really, once you get used to all the hotkeys, if you're into that sort of stuff, it really makes productivity really shoot through the roof. And they just put Tmux in it too. Oh man, I'm very happy with the non-shit keybinds. Oh man, I got to do a programming stream soon. I got to go over how to program indicators soon, because I have all these open source indicators that I have to program, and I'm like, well, I could either stream today or I can program today. And usually when I do streaming, I'm going over market events, and sometimes I'm like, well, maybe I should stream and program. So I think I'm going to start doing a few of those. I'm going to maybe do a couple of those, especially for the open source project. I don't know, right? Those streams are going to be, because it's just going to be me programming, looking at the screen, programming. But I'll give it a shot. I don't know if I can make a highlights clip out of a programming stream. I know Primogen and all those guys do it, but they cover a lot of news as well. I watch a handful of programming streams, and man, there's maybe 2 or 3 people I actually watch that I think are entertaining, and I'm like, I don't know if I don't know if I can do that. I could give it a shot, and so I will give it a shot. So silver, yeah, sure. It's probably going to go higher here. Gold, it's probably going to go higher here. Not necessarily because of all this risk off scenario here. That is a contributing factor, but it's more or less, hey, the US dollar is getting systematically weaker. Central banks are acquiring still even more gold. I am reading the chat. Yeah. I want to see how China and Russia will react to this. I mean, they're what's that PSYOP anime? This was a really big post on X not that long ago. Okay, I'm gonna put this music on pause again. Okay. I believe this is it.
クソ、中東での長期化した紛争は中国に台湾へ動く隙を与えかねない。全てを遅れ、一撃で終わらせる。体制を切り落とす。
アメリカは間もなく攻撃に踏み切る。狙いは体制の背骨を折ることだ。その好機は長くは続かない。
他の勢力はどうだ。あの規模の反応に我々は備えがあるのか。
モスクワは語り、北京は見守る。どちらもテヘランのために血を。
Alright, so that's why I brought up this weird anime thing from your comment. I want to see how Russia and China will react to this. Well, that's your answer right there. That's how they'll react to it. They're just going to sit and watch it. And as far as the Russia side of things go, there is actually something a bit more... Oh, come on. Come on. Okay. Where is it? Russia-Ukraine war research thread. I got a research thread for everything. Everything. A research thread. A research thread for every election. A research thread for military conflict. Stop that. Just stop that. Stop freaking out behind me, green screen. All right. Putin has agreed to accept U.S. security guarantees in Ukraine, Zelensky's office, Budanov said. Budanov added the Russian army. Let's go ahead and just read the whole thing. Added that the Russian army is not prepared to advance on Kiev at this time. Also expressed confidence in the prospects of peace talks, noting that the issue of demilitarized zones has already been resolved. So, if we do U.S. security guarantee, see what shows up here. This is all 2025. Yeah, so it's too old. Too old. Put him in a box. Put him in a box. We don't respect terrorists on this stream. Yeah. If you know anything about who that man was, you should not like him. If you're watching the stream, you very much don't like him, because most of the people who do like him don't fucking have internet right now. That's one way of oh, that's actually kind of another way of saying, oh, you're poor. You don't have internet. Oh, okay. Yeah. How long have you not had internet for? Oh, we've never had it. Oh. We're in the backwater country. Anyways. Oh man. So there is a concern from Putin to speed up negotiations with Ukraine to achieve peace, because if you just look at a map, let's say here, Google Maps. Make sure I don't like dogs myself here. Yeah, I can't open that. Oh my god. I could open a... There we go. Maps.google.com. Thank you, incognito mode. Hell yeah. And over here. All right, sweet. Make sure I close the one that has my actual GPS coordinates on it. Shit. Okay. So, this is the sandbox. This is the sandbox that we're playing in, where the U.S. has all their toys. So there's the Persian Gulf, there's the Gulf of Oman, and this is the Strait of Hormuz. Oh, man, oh, man. And then we got the Caspian Sea. Yeah. Kind of nuts. Kind of nuts. So, here's Russia, Ukraine. This is the European theater. Here is where... Actually, do I still have this thing turned on? One sec. Let me see if I have this thing still turned on. Hey, we have drawing now. Sweet. So, US is here, the US is here, and also over here, here is the Eastern Front with Ukraine and Russia. Here's the US military. So the US military just needs to rotate. If you're familiar with League of Legends, you need to rotate your tanks. If you're familiar with Counter-Strike, you need to rotate your position over to the next bomb site here. Here's bomb site A and here's bomb site B. Yeah, very unprofessional. But just like with can you tell I enjoy my video games? Yeah. Anyways, we're going to this is what Putin doesn't like, is the threat of this rotation from the United States to the Ukraine front. I mean, right now the U.S. military is probably trying to figure out how to get into the Black Sea, right? Without the Russians freaking out here. Because if the United States can get into the Black Sea, there's a lot of Russian infrastructure and ports, naval ports, that can be seriously damaged here. So, and then as far as China goes, you know, in that little anime clip, right, there was that whole thing about, the China is about to invade Taiwan, but we can't commit to like an all. I don't like that little bit from what we watched, specifically because the Chinese are literally shooting themselves. Literally, the head of the guy who was specifically appointed and put in charge of invading Taiwan for the PLA is no more, because he actually tried to initiate a coup against Xi, and there was this massive shootout between the forces who were going to kidnap Xi and the bodyguards of Xi at some hotel, and the coup forces were completely surrounded and totally massacred. And so when that coup force went in, the guy who planned it was then, I mean, for all we know, he's been tortured since that's happened, and locked up, for all we know. But China is in absolutely no position to go into Taiwan. And what, they go into Taiwan to take the semiconductor facilities? Well, all those are literally rigged to explode. So they would collapse the entire semiconductor industry. And then China really would be dead broke then. Excuse me. Sometimes like a burp feels like it's gonna come up, and so I stop speaking. Oh. This came up again. It's kind of frustrating. Maybe like pat on the back, right? Nope, nothing. Anyways. Yeah. I do not see China actually going into Taiwan at all. It's kind of... I really don't see it happening. Especially now with Japan remilitarizing. Good on Takaichi actually getting into the game, doing some really fantastic work. Oh, man. Yeah, the Chinese now, with the Japanese rearming themselves, and they will change the constitution. The LDP will very likely change the constitution over this. Then a proper military buildup can occur. The Chinese are shifting their priority from, do we put all of our resources in getting Taiwan, or do we make sure we're competent enough in case we do have to go to war with Japan that we can actually stand up to the Japanese military? But then if they go to war with Japan, they're also going to war with the States. You know, it's kind of exactly the opposite of what happened during World War II, right? The United States was fighting the Japanese and trying to help some of the people in China, although that's kind of arguable because the people who we were helping in China are now in Taiwan. But anyways, that was a huge screw up by the United States on that front to not help those people more back then. Okay, so I've covered quite a bit. We're going to go over more commodities now. Let's actually pull this up real quick. Come on. Hey, put them in a box. So this is what the Strait of Hormuz looked like. It turns out that there were actually signal jammers at the Strait of Hormuz. So this bottom one is what happened on the night of the attack of Operation Epic Fury. And this was the day before. So the top is normal traffic. The bottom is manipulated traffic. Look at how fucking crazy that looks. This ship's just flying over land. Yeah. This is why so many maritime agencies are saying, hey, the GPS is kind of screwed right now. If you're going to go through, you have to do it visually. You have to know what's around you visually. Because you can't totally trust the GPS right now. And because of that, there's a lot of ships that are just saying, okay, if we can't do the GPS, we're just not going to go in because there's too much risk there. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff commodities related that's come up. There actually were a handful of S&P Global posts. Here we go. There's one. I'm pretty sure that there was another. Also, there's supposed to be an OPEC meeting today. Pretty sure there's supposed to be an OPEC meeting. Oh, looks like they got rid of the link. Let's see here. Yeah, this is just a one-page thing. Not that crazy. And then this is a image of all the oil infrastructure. There's a ton of maps like this out there. If you go down X, you can find a ton of maps that look like this. But there was a really interesting one that Sal Macargliano posted, and I am really impressed with Sal Macargliano's latest episode on it. So if you go into the commodities channel and you scroll down, this one here, what's going on with shipping, Ari put me onto this guy a long time ago. Back when we were going through the Panama Canal crisis. Oh my God, man. Also, the Panama Canal authorities kicked the Chinese out. The Chinese are no longer in control of the ports that they were litigating over. So this video here was like chef's kiss. Dude, Sal is absolutely amazing as a professional analyst. He is so good. So definitely give him a watch. Yeah, oil is definitely jumping. I mean, we could check out oil one more time here. Oil has not quite moved yet here, at least on the derivative side. Let's see here. U.S. oil. There we go. There's oil. So oil did exactly what I expected, and what most people expected, quite frankly. Now, depending on who you ask, they were either saying it jumps $10 or 10%. In my stream, I was saying it goes to this spot, $75. I was saying it jumps 10%. Yeah. Is this going to stick? Yeah, I think this price is going to stick. I think this price on oil is going to stick for a good bit here. I mean, the bombings are going to continue now, not for just this next week, but for several weeks. And we're going to, over that time, have to wait until the bombing stop for the Strait of Hormuz to become clear, for ships to feel comfortable going in, for ships to acquire the proper insurance to cover their vessels in case they're hit by the Iranians. And we also need to know that the oil facilities aren't going to get bombed, aren't going to be sabotaged. There's a lot of moving parts here that can make the situation much worse very, very, very easily. I mean, when I talk about the Civil War scenario, imagine this. Let's say that the pro-democracy Iranians are able to establish a proto-government before there's like an official transitory government set up. They take control of the government facilities. They kind of take control of what they can. You have a proto-government set up right before things start getting official with a transitory government. At that point, it really sets off alarms for the Islamic Republic officials that are still around and those now renegade groups that are operating on their own instructions effectively. And they're thinking, well, what can we do to hurt these people? And they say, oh, I know. We can blow up the oil facilities here. Some pumps. We can blow up maybe a really important infrastructure at the shipping ports. You can blow up pipelines. There's a bunch of targets that these people can hit. I mean, think about it with Taiwan and China, for example. If the Chinese went into Taiwan, I just said they're going to blow up all their semiconductor facilities. There's not going to be a huge economic benefit other than the rubble on the ground, right? And to say that they have the island of Taiwan. Now, everyone in Taiwan will flee to very likely Japan or wherever they can get help immediately. But it's very likely Japan and the United States would come to help them. I don't think China wants to risk that at this moment. I don't think in the strongest position to do that. Now, with Iran and the Iranian, let's say the democratic forces versus the Islamic Republic forces, things can escalate as characters within the Islamic Republic start to come to the realization that they are losing their grip on power. And they will go into their death throes. They will lash out. And they will terrorize the people of Iran to the last minute. Remember, the Ayatollah was a fanatic, and he indoctrinated a lot of people. They effectively believe that God won't come to Earth until they kill all the infidels. So they want, it's kind of like the opposite of Judgment Day. So in Christianity, you have, one day Christ will come down to Earth and there will be Judgment Day, right? With the Ayatollah, it's a little different. It's, we are the Judgment Day and then God will come down. That's as far as I understand how that goes. So if the Islamic Republic goes into their death throes, they say, oh man, how are we going to execute this holy plan if we don't have a country? Well, they are going to do everything in their power to terrorize people to have some grip on things, to at least stop and halt the progress, which is why it's likely that these bombing campaigns are going to go on for a while to destroy as much of the military infrastructure that the Islamic Republic still has. But even, you know how Trump is saying, oh, we'll give you complete amnesty if you just put down your arms and you agree not to fight. Well, there's going to obviously be people who lie about their allegiance, about switching. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people in the Islamic Republic's military that, for example, really did not want to shoot on the protesters back in January, who there was a lot of infighting. There's a lot of people who are like, we do not want to do that. So the faction is split. The military is already split. And the people who are siding with the democratic forces now, the freedom forces, are going to have to handle the people who, with the help of the United States and Iran and now the UK, France, and Germany, handle peacefully or not so peacefully the remaining forces of the Islamic Republic who want to execute this plan, who want revenge for the Ayatollah, right? Okay. So with that in mind, things can continue to get worse. It's very nice to see oil coming down. It's up. It went up, what, close to 11%, and now it's only up 6%. But it's very likely that we're going to maintain these prices and possibly trade in the $80 handle, especially if these attacks do happen. Really, things aren't going to be, I think, at least for oil, sustainably back down below $70 until the bombings stop and there's official protocol around oil being exported out of Iran through the Persian Gulf again. And I think that's reasonable. I think that's fairly reasonable. Okay. Man, I forgot to hit the record button. Damn, so I'm gonna have to download the stream. Oh, man. Okay. That kind of sucks. Because then you have to wait for YouTube to render the video and all that jazz. Yeah. But man, what a crazy gap we had. What a crazy little gap. Yeah, just make sure that hotkey works. I think it's, yeah, I can do it with hotkeys too. Sweet. Okay, and then did we get gold? Gold. Yeah, gold is still on its way up and away. So no pullback whatsoever in gold. Seems a lot more, even if there's a little tiny pullback, I would have been like, okay with it. I would have put much less odds on this specific scenario where gold just goes straight up. But it doesn't totally surprise me, frankly. It doesn't totally surprise me. Okay. And then we can do silver. Yeah, and silver's up too. There you go. Okay, so with all that said and done, I'm going to say thank you guys for watching. I am ready to end the stream. If you guys want to come and join me in the Discord and help do this research with me, help cover, if I do this, hey, check that out. Hey, yeah, there's the background. It's a nice, very calm, foggy forest, right? So here is the research forum. Come hang out, do some research with us. I'm going to be hanging out in the voice chat probably later today, doing some more additional research on stuff. And then if you have trades that you want to post, you can post them in the trade forum. So if you want to take something from this research forum and then say, well, given this piece of information and that piece of information, I think I want to trade this asset. And now, looking at the charts, I think this price is significant for an entry, and this price is significant for an exit, and this price is significant for a take profit. You can go ahead and do your whole trade plan in these trade forums, relevant to all these different assets of Forex, debt, equities, commodities, crypto, and even the prediction markets. We do follow stuff going on for prediction markets. In fact, I did find one of the guys who originally helped formulate the idea of prediction markets had a podcast. I was on a podcast, and the thing only has about 100 views. It came out like a week ago. It's kind of insane how this has so little views, but this is a really historic figure as far as it comes down to prediction markets. This guy's name is Robin Hanson. He even has a few little pamphlets on the idea, but a lot of people were heavily inspired by him directly to create prediction markets. And he's there. He has a podcast on it, and the thing has like 80 views, man. Like, come on. So, yeah. And then there's the crypto stuff. Oh, man. There's I'm going through my inbox, and I have so many articles on crypto. There's the whole thing going on with the CFTC, actually, regarding prediction markets. Oh, man. And then there's something going on with Coinbase and switching to some new kind of infrastructure for Ethereum. Oh, my God. It's like when there's a bit of stuff I got to get caught up on. So I'm not gonna talk too much about it because I don't know too much about it quite yet. I gotta do a little background, a little bit of research, right? Oh, you know what was kind of surprising to find out? Zach XBT's next article. There's a huge prediction market on it. There's a huge prediction market on it, and it just turned out to be like, oh, we had one employee doing insider trading. Yeah. Okay, so before we hop off here, here's the squawk. Israeli military reports sirens sounded in several areas in northern Israel after projectiles launched from Lebanon. Oh, man. Okay, we're probably going to have to reopen the thread between Israel and Hezbollah here. Israel. Oh, it's still technically open. Yeah, the last time there was a post about this was actually in March 11th, 2025. We started this thread a long time ago. This is called a bump. And who's in this thread right now? Just myself and Ari. Okay. So we bump that thread. We go to the news feed. And then we throw that in Israel, Hezbollah. All right, cool. So we can go here to the general chat. Reopened. Bumped. A research thread on new attacks from. Let's just say on Iran. Or on is. Let's say in this thread. I don't want to do more typing. Israel, Hezbollah conflict. Okay, cool. All right, there we go. Stream is complete. I've done everything I wanted to do. All right, I will see you all in